I was the first lieutenant in the United States Air Force. I was assigned to a group of maintainers. It was my second assignment. The highest ranking enlisted person in the troop, a master sergeant. He came up to me, and he looked me in the eye, and he said, "Lieutenant, I'd die for you." That is the biggest honor that I've ever received in my life. He said it with absolute clarity. He said it without hesitation. And he was so drunk, I had to help him walk to his car. Hey, I'll take it any way I can get it. Dying for somebody is nothing more than a metaphor. What it really means is, would somebody go to bat for you? Would somebody help you out when you're down, when it's not to their best interest? The answer in that comes in the lessons of leadership. This one day, our squadron had just received a briefing, a lesson on leadership. It's a lesson that you all might know. It's the weakest link lesson, the one where the weakest link in the chain is what can cause the lowest level of capability. And we decided that the weakest link was not something that defined our team. Instead of a weakest link, we thought our team was more like a rope comprised of individual twines. It didn't matter how weak any one of those twines were, when you brought them all together, you created a rope stronger than any one could ever hold. That night, 2 o'clock in the morning, the phone rings, wakes up my wife, my baby, and then me. I answered the phone, and it was Sergeant Callahan. And he said, "Lieutenant, we're too drunk to be let into the base. We need somebody to pick us up and take us on base." So I got dressed, I drove out there and met the guys. And as I was helping Sergeant Callahan out, he looked at me and said he'd die for me. When you're drunk, you can say an awful lot of things. He could have called me one of the many names my wife chose for me that night. But he didn't. He said he'd die for me. And you know, there's no doubt in my mind that Tim would have died for me. And if the situation arose, I would have died for Tim, as I would have died for Bert. And that's the lesson that I learned about leadership. It's not about getting somebody else to be willing to take something for you. It's about how far you're willing to go for the members of your team.